Adam Lavelle, the wrestling snob, WrestlingDoneRight.com, home of the Noah Network in the IIWC. That extra I is for intelligence. I'm here to talk about pro wrestling, Noah. Sunny Voyage, March 8, 2025. That was just a few hours ago this morning. Started at 4:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I stayed up to watch it live. I don't know if I'll do that for tomorrow morning's show or not, but I will bring you discussion of tomorrow morning's show sometime tomorrow. Now, hopefully you follow along with all that nonsense. But let's talk about the show from this morning, Sunny Voyage, March 8th, 2025. We're going to jump right into it because that's what I do here. I don't waste your time. The first match was Hajime Ohara versus a guy, I believe his name is Null, Null. I saw another translation that put it as Nar, Narr. I'm not sure. I can't find a whole lot of information on this guy. I did find his Instagram. He is a big black man, clearly either American or from the UK or somewhere. I know nothing about him other than he's quite large, tall, quite tall. He's got to be pushing 7 feet tall. I'd say at least 6'8", 6'9" minimum, and pretty good. He didn't blow my mind, but he was pretty good. He gave Hajime Ohara, who is a very solid worker, a good match. It's hard to have a bad match with someone as good as Hajime Ohara. But not only was Null, I'm going to call him Null for now, Null, not only was he good enough, he was good enough to beat Hajime Ohara in a very interesting contest. It made me want to continue to follow this Null's career, and I'm sorry if I got his name wrong. I'll get it right. I'll find it here eventually. But it made me really want to see where he goes. He looked pretty interesting, and I think he has big, no pun intended, potential. I really do. The second match was a match I would have skipped if I wasn't watching live. Muhammad Yone and Atsushi Katogi, Team Noah, God bless them, nothing wrong with them, against Shuhei Taniguchi, who is okay for what he is, and Black Menso Ray. Okay, the match was all right. I mean, there was a little bit of a gaga battle between Yone and Menso Ray. But do you know the difference between Muhammad Yone and Black Menso Ray? One's an incredible worker with great power, and he can be a little silly here or there with his disco poses and his big funky hairdo, his big afro, because he's so damn good. Black Menso Ray, whatever in the hell he is doing and whatever in the hell that is about, isn't a bad worker, but he's no Muhammad Yone. So I don't really have the grace toward him that I do toward Yone. But let me tell you what, I'd rather watch 10 Black Menso Ray matches than one Potato Queen Nia Jax match over here in America. So I digress. But, of course, Yone and Katoge won when Katoge took out Black Menso Ray. Now, Katoge needed that win. He really hasn't had a good win in quite a while, and this was not a big major win, but good for him. Nice to see Katogi get a pinfall. The third match was Manabu Soya versus Ulka Sasaki versus Kai Fujimura of All Rebellion, and this is where the show really took off. You could have literally skipped those first two matches, and it's not going to hurt you at all, except for Null, the big man that I'm curious about. You might want to check him out just to get an idea. And if you already know who he is, someone inform me. The second match is completely skippable. This match, the third match on, is when this show really took off, though. Soya versus Sasaki versus Fujimura in a three-way match. Excellent. And I'm not a big fan of three-way matches. They don't have good psychology. Noah does the best that they can with these matches, but they're still not the best matches if you like good ring psychology like the wrestling snob, like and enjoy. But I did enjoy this for a three-way match, and I enjoyed Ulka Sasaki getting a win. Not like Itogi or anything, but I feel like Ulka Sasaki, since losing that national championship, hasn't really done much. He's still excellent. I'm not saying Noah isn't behind him, but I feel like he needed this win, and he got this win, and that's good for him against good competition. Of course, he beat Fujimura. He's not going to beat Soya, but very good match for a three-way and a very big win for Ulka Sasaki, and I really enjoyed this match. The fourth match was a six-man match. I really like this too. Hayata Yohei and Yuta Kikuchi with a new bleach blonde-looking hairdo all hanging down in his eyes like the Shaggy DA, if you will. An old American film reference there, if you're not familiar. They took on Amaska, Junta Miyawaki, and Bryce Hansen. I'm not familiar with Bryce Hansen. God forgive me. I just not. He's been around Noah in the past. I've been watching Noah since 2017, and I don't recall him. I mean, he might have been in a match here or there, but I don't recall him. But Milwaukee and Amaska are your number one contenders to the junior tag titles, and they go down here. Of course, Hansen gets beat. Hayata and Yohei, the current junior tag champions, with Yuta Kikuchi, and the Rattels are just on another level. Even though they recently lost a member, which we'll talk about here shortly, they're on another level. They're in the junior division. They are the way to go. And this was excellent, excellent battle. Highly recommend this match. Very, very enjoyable matchup. The fifth match, okay, was a singles match. They had intermission before this, so this is really where Noah sees the show main event starting here. The main event style matches. Eita versus Daiki Odashima. Man, I don't want to call this a dream match. I don't want to be that hyperbolic, but it was so damn good. This Daiki Odashima is the future of the junior division, and if this kid can gain weight, he is the future of Noah. I mean, this kid, I just sit on the edge of my seat watching him. And Eita as well. Eita has been one of the best junior heavyweights in the world, and he is the current GHC junior heavyweight champion, deservedly so. He has been one of the best juniors for many years. He deserves all the flowers, but he deserves them here for helping Odashima. Not that he needs a lot of help, but he's still young, he's still rookie, he's still green, helping him have possibly the match of the night. This was probably the match of the night. It just went back and forth for quite some time. I think this was close to a 15-minute matchup. I didn't get the official times yet. But I enjoyed every second of it without ever believing that Odashima was going to win. He's a young boy. He's a rookie. He's new. He's not going to beat the junior heavyweight champion, and he did not. But boy, that you believed he could as you were watching while knowing that he wouldn't. You know what I mean? You believed that, well, I don't know. Maybe they'll tweak. Maybe they'll break every rule they've ever had with young boys. But they didn't. But Eita puts him in a ridiculous Boston Crab. I mean, he put his knee on his head and yanked his legs back to where his heel was almost touching. It was brutal looking, and Odashima had to give up. He had no other choice. It was a wicked, wicked lion tamer, Boston Crab, if you will. And after an incredible fight against the junior champion, Daiki Odashima taps out. Eita tells him after the match, me and you will be doing this later at the top of the card. He knows that Daiki Odashima is the future of this division. And like I said, I kind of hope the kid can one day gain weight and carry those gut-wrench suplexes all the way to the top of the card. Then we had the semi-main event, Tetsuya Endo and Iwata-san, Team 2000X, a team that I didn't like a whole lot. Actually, a roller coaster. When they first started with Jack Morris and Yoshi Tatsu and those guys, I kind of liked them. I was like, okay, I like them as a heel stable. They do great heel work. Then when numerous people seemed to flock over to them and wanted to join, I was like, oh God, this is a little bit too much. Ozawa joins and wins the championship, but they have won me over. They are still a great rule-breaking faction. We're not talking about House of Torture here. They just don't blatantly run in and cheat. They don't just blatantly attack the referee. They do things behind the ref's back. They do things underhandedly. They do things by using distractions, and that's what they did in this match against Takashi Zagura and Keno. I would pay top dollar for any card that had those two on it, especially as a team or against each other. Segura and Keno are what Pro Wrestling Noah is. They are what pro wrestling is about, and they were that way in this matchup, just killing people dead. I love the killing machine. I love the fist. I love Keno and Takashi Zagura, and I was so excited to see them together, and they win this match. Yes, they pinned Iwata-san, the young boy, but man, you can see Iwata-san developing into the next Keno. And you could see when Keno was working with him and they're arguing and they're shouting back and forth, you could see the similarities. I'm not saying they're exactly alike, but Iwata-san has character. He has charisma. He has a presence. And Keno sees it and he's helping to draw it out. Keno, he's not old, but he's getting up there. And Iwata-san is the next Keno. I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that he is. Is Tetsuya Endo the next Takashi Zagura? Not necessarily, but it's a very similar pairing. Tetsuya Endo and Iwata-san is a very similar pairing to Takashi Zagura and Keno, both up in their, I think, at least 40s. I think Segura's in his 50s. He might be my age. 55, 56. So when you can start building the next version of you or something similar. That's what this match was about, and I loved every second of it, and I loved that the original bad guys won it and took over and closed the case by beating Team 2000X and standing tall at the end. Oh, did I miss Kenta? Sure. I love the Ken tag team. I do, but I also love Segura and Keno, and I loved this match. Finally, it was the main event. And you know what? This match, it's an 8-man tag. 9 people in the ring, including the ref. You know me. You know, that's not my thing. That's not my bag. That's not my favorite thing by any stretch of the imagination. But this was solid. Ozawa, our champion, even though he forgot the belt. He left the belt at home. He forgot to bring it to the show. Ozawa, Jack Morris, Daga, and Tarasuke, the newest member, the person who turned his back on Manabu Soya and the Passionate Retells. He now comes out, his rock star look is gone. No red leather jacket, no long wet hair. It's now dark, slicked back, and shorter. And he just has a menacing look to him. They took on All Rebellion's Masa Kitamiya, Kaito Kiyomiya, Galeno, and Alejandro. Of course, Masa Kitamiya is not part of All Rebellion, but Kaito Kiyomiya, Galeno, and Alejandro teamed up with Masa Kitamiya because this is a preview match for Masa Kitamiya's upcoming title shot against Ozawa for that GHC heavyweight championship. And boy, they focused on these two in the ring, and it really, really worked out well for an excellent 8-man tag. But Ozawa is no dummy. He focused on Alejandro, beats him, and gets the win there. In a very, like I said, very solid match that I very so much enjoyed. And I don't enjoy these crazy 8-man. That's what it looks like in the ring. Just chaos, insanity, wildness. But Team 2000, having lost the last match, redeemed themselves. The champion gets the pin and the victory here, and him and Masa Kitamiya get in each other's faces. Ozawa had something to say on the mic after. I don't speak Japanese. I couldn't translate it for you, but he did admit that he left the title at home. This show was great, guys. If you watch this channel just to keep up on what's going on because you can't watch all the matches, or you watch this channel wondering if a show is worth it, this show is worth it. And you know, a month, 2 months ago or so, I was telling you the shows were getting on my nerves. There was too much gaga. There was too much goofiness. I even skipped 3 or 4 in a row. I was so disappointed. And they weren't comedy shows, but they weren't the hard-hitting, badass Noah shows that I crave, that I love, and that I absolutely need in my wrestling life. This was. Except for the goofy Black Menso Ray match, where if you're not watching live, skip that completely. This was Noah as Noah needs and has to be. And I'd give this show a 9 out of 10. I know I should reserve the 9s and the 10s for the big shows. I know that I should. But I'm just taking a point off for that Black Menso Ray match because everything else on this show delighted me and made me happy to be sitting there at 4:30 a.m., tired as hell, but paying attention because it was what Noah's supposed to be minus that one match. Great stuff. Check it out. I'll be back talking about tomorrow's show, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening at some point. Thanks for following. Please spread the news. If you haven't followed, if you're just watching, please click the follow button, the subscribe button. I would appreciate it. I do this for Pro Wrestling Noah. They deserve it. Help me. Subscribe. And I'll see you again soon.